Start recording. And yeah, the first exercise is this vlookup. And the way the lookup works is sort of explained there. If you go down in the explanation there, it
Did you make
says,
videos
start a
about
vlookup, and you have three sort of parameters that you put in there. You put in the thing that you're going to look up. I just called that a key, the key value, right? Then you put in the range of the table in which you're going to look it up. And there's 4 values, sorry, not 3. And then you put the column, and the columns start from the leftmost column is going to be column 1. So we don't start from a column 0 or anything, which might seem like a logical thing. That's typically what we do in computing, but no, here our first column is column 1. And then the faults that it shows this example in, that's kind of counterintuitive that it has a false. False means that you must have an exact match, and true would mean, so we have a true false in that last parameter, meaning that you can have an approximated value or you could have an exact match. And we shouldn't really use approximated values for these text values for words. I use approximated values for numbers, right? And so and what that'll give you is a value up to that value. So it's nicer if we want to find everything that within a range or something, we can use the approximated values. But because we're looking at names, we're going to use exact values. So what I like to do is not exactly the way this one is. What I like to do is set a heading up, say, well, okay, so this is my keyword, where the keyword is going to be the item that I want to find. That's maybe I'll call that item key. And then I can put the item that I want to find there. And then in the columns, in the cells beside it, I can put my, or even, well, it could even do it this way. So, right, I could have my item there, well, item key there, put beside it the price. That's the only things we've got in this, right? So, am I missing it? No, there's only item and price. So if I have an item, I can reveal the price beside it. And so I can type any item in here. So for example, photo frame, that's an item. I should make a bit more space for that. And then here I would put the lookup. So equal vlookup. There's vlookup. And then the first thing is going to be the thing that I'm going to look up. Now in your notes, it says, in quotes, put photo frame, but I know that photo frame is in that place. I think this is a better way of doing it. And then I highlight the table that I want to find the stuff in. Do I need to include the what's it say? I think it just B2. I think that's okay. A2 to B, yeah, I'm hoping. Then we're going to say which column we want to find the price there. So that would be column 2. And do we want it to be an exact value, or do we want it to be approximate? And so that gives me the price of $10,999, which is the price of the photo frame. If I look there now, why I like this way better is because we can make this look a bit better. Make it like a heading, bolded or whatever. So yeah, let's bold it, make it a bit bigger. But then I can type something else here, right? Okay, so all right, so that's the price of stationery. That's not how you spell stationery. But anyways, that's how it. Now the problem is it only works for exacts, right? So I got the price there. I could probably format that a bit better, right? If I can do that. I can always do these things by right clicking, right? So I could format the cell, and I want to format the number and make it sort of currency or something, rather than the way it was. And so yeah, that's nicer. So the problem with this is if we spell it wrong, right? It's not really letting me do sort of approximates. I have to do exacts. So if you spell things wrong, it's not going to work. But I think that's, as I say, If you spell things down wrong, it's not going to work. But if you spell them right, which I still haven't, greeting card doesn't have a T on the end. If you spell them right, then you do get the right value. And that's all that is. The example 2 is the same kind of thing. You put the gift basket there, and you pull the gift basket out there with the same kind of formula over here on the side. So that's all that one was. That's any questions on that? That's the lookup. You know what we should do is you can look up more than one thing. Yeah, that was the thing here, right? We're looking up more than one thing. We should go and do example 2. So let's say here we've got the item. And instead of just doing the item, over here we're going to do the price, which we've already done something like that. But we're also going to pull up the category. So just using a different index value. And so here we've got the item, that's just a value there. Here we've actually got a lookup. Ifs, and is that working? I think so. Well, we can tell if we change this. Dictionary. Yes, that works fine. Now the category thing, we could make another vlookup. And again, we're going to look up on that item, and we're going to look up in this table. And I don't need the headings, it seems. I'm going to look up in those values. And the thing is that we're going to look, this time we're going to look on not column 2, or column 1 is there, column 2. We're going to look up on column 3. So column 3. And again, it'll be false because it requires an exact value. And oh, so this was wrong, right? This is column 3. Better change that back to column 2. So we got our price, our category, and our, if we change this to t-shirt, then we get the price of the t-shirt and we get the category. So we can use vlookup. I think this is the best way of using it is, right, you know, have an input field, and imagine you had thousands of records. This could pull up the individual record from 1,000 records. I think that's the way that we would use it. Okay, any questions on that?
Hello, sir.
I would use it. Yeah. All right, so let's close that one and have a look at the data validation. Maybe I hope you can see that okay. Now, this here we're trying to find, all right, we've got a few fields. Let me change the view on this also, because it's a bit too big. You can't really see the whole table. All right, so we've got this little table, and it only has a few things in it, but the things are that, and what we're going to do is we're going to highlight just the first column and give it a name. So this is so cool. You can name a range of, you can name an individual cell, or you can name a range of cells. And so that's done here by the formulas tab. So what it says is we highlight the range, and I think it just is going to be starting from standard. It actually wants us to go down to 10, and then go to the formula thing, and then somewhere in there we've got a define name. And so we're going to define the name, and what's it say? Define name, and then we could call it what we like. Refers to, there it's called standard. It's probably not the best thing. We could call it shipping range, ship range. Yeah, it's kind of a dumb name probably, but okay, we're going to call it ship range. Okay, so from here on after, I can refer to ship range, and I can sort of see what's going on. In now I've got this thing called name manager, as it says. If we ever add more things, we can go to name manager. Now that would that was in the formulas, right? So we got name manager here. There he is. We can see any ranges that we have defined, and what are their names and where are they. So that's kind of useful, and you could use that to help you. So we've got that. We've got this thing named. So if we go into another worksheet, which is sort of attached to this, we can do this data validation. And so what this data validation is we don't need to type in the value here. Standard is wrong, but we can pull down a list of values that we can choose from. So for example, if you had 20 employees or something like that, you didn't want to type out their name all the time, you could have a range of cells like this, where you had all of their names, and then you could name that and call it employee names, and then you could just have a drop-down list somewhere which would show you the names, and you could choose one just by clicking on it. Another one where that's used, I've seen it on a lot of websites. So this doesn't just happen in Excel. This is actually built in as sort of like a little applet into programming languages, but you can do things like drop down a list of all the months of the year, drop down a list of the numbers 1 to 31 for the days of the year. And so, yeah, that's the type of thing that we're going to kind of do here. And that's what we mean by data validation. I'm going to give you a drop down list. We got data validation, and it doesn't. This happened to me when I was looking at it before too, right? We have over here in the data tools, this is actually data validation. So you'll get used to what it looks like. That's what it is. And so in here, what we're going to do is not choose any value. We're going to choose a list. And then we're going to say what the source is. And the source is going to be ship range. I hope I don't have to say, hopefully that would work. Yeah, so now instead of type, I miss it.
Sir, you have to put equals
I missed
in
something.
the equal ship range.
I had to put an equal. Yes, okay, so too early in the morning. Let's fix it. So do it again. Back to data. Okay, if I change that to an equal, hopefully it'll work this time. All right, so now there, instead I have a range of, I have the values, and I can choose one, and all of these other things have formulas built upon them, right? So it's saying from the shipping tab, the shipping worksheet, that's what that shipping with the exclamation mark means, in that range from A2 to B10. We're going to use that to look up values from that table. So in that table, we've got these values here, which is the second column. So yeah, this exercise uses the vlookup as well, but it's finding a value from the table, and we use the data validation to make a drop-down list of the values in the table. And I'm sorry, I sort of missed the equal sign, but you saw me miss the equal sign, so you won't miss it now, right? I missed it, so you don't have to. Anyways, that is more or less the exercise. If you can do that, that's it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the recording now, and if there's